Welcome to the Bravo stream. Maven, joined
the best
by
stream you will ever see.
Matthew Mr. X Morello, known famously for his 72 MLG championships. We are going to be going into FeaR versus Noble Impact. You just saw the great interview that Jack gave there with Neslo. If you missed that, basically this Neslo team's fired up. They're starting to click. They had a big Game 3 round 11 series over here just now, and now we're going to see if they can fire it off here against Orbit.
Yeah, you know, I haven't seen either of these teams so far this weekend. So obviously with the profiles, we are using some of these MLG events name. You want to run us down who's who?
Yes, I'll go through FeaR first. So number 1 is Moho, number 2 is Dito, 3 is Assassin, 4 is Neslo. For the Orbit side, you have, I believe it's Enzo 5th, Chilliz 6, Huddle 7, and Silly number 8. Now I will do my best to tweet those out as soon as I get a chance, so you have those to look at if you weren't able to jot them down. And again, once we start getting towards back to pool play, we'll have these names back for you guys.
Right, yeah, you know, obviously going towards pool play, we'll definitely have those names out. But it looks like that this Orbit team is going to win this first hill pretty handily, mid, and it's going to be important for FeaR to be able to get on this rotation.
Yeah, we'll take a look here. They're already up, what, about a 20-point advantage, which we know is nothing in Hardpoint, but good control early on. And that's number 5, which is going to be Enzo. It looks like he's off to a 7-1 start right now. 6th streak coming in for him. Really getting hot. And just as we switch to him, he catches the fist
right
to the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you called that
I'm sorry,
out,
I apologize.
Got hit right in the mouth.
Apologize, Enzo. You were rolling, rocking and rolling, but caught that fist to the beak.
Yeah, you're an awful person.
I know. I try my best. So we'll see them picking up a couple of kills here. If you don't mind, throw on the COD vision for me here. There we go. Now we can see the players as they're going to try and push in here against Neslo. We'll see if he's able to lock this guy. He's got a teammate to his right. There's one right out here prone. He pre-fires the corner. Not the right one, though, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, a little high pre-fire in that corner. It looks like they are going to be able to try and break this hill, but good job from FeaR. They're just flooding it from the back. As one person dies, the next person just floods in, and they're just trying to push this out a little bit further, but they need to rotate over towards Garage. And here is one of the players from the Orbit team. I believe this is Huddle, and he is going to rotate over to this Garage hardpoint pretty early. Yeah,
he's going to get set up. You know, it's funny because we've seen two different... I don't even know how to describe what I think of this game mode so far. So we watched Justice play a little bit last night.
Yeah.
They were kind of a team that was rotating sort of late. They were soaking up all that time.
Yep.
They knew they could get across the map really quickly. And then, talking with Ego, we saw other teams that were rotating a good 20 seconds before, like thinking back to Black Ops 2, getting all 4, they're rotating, killing that anchor, and getting set up, and that was really working for them too. I feel like teams haven't really figured out Hardpoint Advanced Warfare yet, just because it's so different with the speed of the game.
Right, with the speed of the game, it plays completely different from Black Ops 2, and the other thing you have to note is that the spawn system's a bit different than Black Ops 2 spawn system. So the spawn system in this game, it really isn't determined by just one person, it's determined by the mass amount of people you have.
That's what Ego said. He's like, you don't really have an anchor so much as you just need to rotate as a team. You're almost like a team anchor. You're moving together to hold a spawn instead of having one player.
So to break it down, pretty simple. Well, not really pretty simple, but it's going to be confusing. But
yeah, here comes geometries.
Yeah, here comes geometry. Black Ops 2, the spawns were able to be influenced by one person. One person can block spawns. One person can pretty much rotate by themselves and manipulate it just by looking at it. You can block spawns by looking at an area. In this game, it's not the case. You block spawns and you manipulate spawns by the mass amount of people, which that means, let's say we just flood this back trailer right there. They will no longer spawn at the black trailer. They'll spawn out to that left by that green side. So you need to really focus on, flooding those areas.
So do you think it really comes down to, in this game, it's either you rotate early as an entire team, or you just soak up all the time and rotate late as an entire team? Is pretty much what this is going to come down to.
Pretty much just do whichever you want as an entire team, and you're fine.
Yeah, and that's what I think some teams that have, have experience with Hardpoint from Black Ops 2 have been struggling a little bit in Hardpoint because it is not the same game. But let's take a look through the kill KDs right now. Events 2 is going to be Dito. He's crushing right now at 16 and 8. Still pretty much a tie game, just over 6 to play. On the other side for Orbit, a couple of players. It looks like, I think that's Silly and Enzo putting up big numbers, both at 16 and 12.
I love how I think that's that guy.
I try to. It's tricky.
You try to read. I know. You're trying to read.
And just to give you guys an update, if you are just tuning in, the reason for this, and basically with the profile system, how it works in these systems, you can preload a lot of these top teams that are going to be in pool play, that we're going to be seeing a lot of. But uploading 506 different players from Open Bracket is just not realistic. It's not possible. So that's why, unfortunately, in some of these early rounds, you will see this. That was 8. Silly with a 3-piece.
Yeah, silly. Just
that was just silly.
Getting all types of silly. We think the same way. I don't know if that's good or bad, but he is actually going to be able to take the rest of. Yeah, it's really bad for me. He's going to take the rest of this time on this hill.
6th streak here too.
Yeah, and he's on that 6th streak. No, this is one of the easier hills to lock down on this map.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, no, I agree.
You don't really even need to push out that far. If you have one person in each window just kind of working that, you can pretty much take it handily. I mean, you see these players on orbit, they can't really even make it towards that
well, if you have
steps.
One person, if you have somebody outside, maybe by that back spawn, even in street, you can kind of cover front steps, cover someone jumping into window. It really... I agree. I think it is. I think it's definitely the easiest for the build.
Now, this middle one you can actually control as well. I think all of the hard points on this map, you know, if you play it right and you push those spawns out, you can control them. I mean, right now, if you were to able to force that spawn over at trailer, I mean, it is so difficult to pretty much just walk down the middle of the street.
Well, I think for the most part, when it comes to us as casters and players, I think Detroit Hardpoint is the favorite right now for Hardpoint, certainly. Mostly, I think it comes down to just the spawns being a little more predictable than some of the other maps.
Right, and you know, it was one thing when I was just casting the Noble Impact against ISO. Impact would hold a hill, they would get in the hill, and they wouldn't know where to look. They had no idea where the enemy was spawning, and I think that's something a lot of teams really haven't figured out yet, how to really move those spawn points to where they want them.
Well, we have 4 minutes left, still a really tight game.
Oh, wow.
12-point advantage right now for Orbit. Now, I believe in the last series for FeaR, they got crushed in the hardpoint and had to bounce back. We'll see if they can put the similar position here.
Yeah, you know, FeaR's roster, they aren't really a hardpoint team. I mean, you know, Assassin and Moho, you know, Call of Duty veteran players, and obviously they've played a ton of Search and Destroy. Dito, you have, who's one of the best ARs in Call of Duty. But Neslo as well. I mean, he's a pretty good hardpoint player, but known TK mostly for that Search and Destroy gameplay. So they should be a pretty search-heavy team.
And this is round 5, so it is going to go. The S&D is still going to be the deciding game 3. In the last round, we had Uplink as game number 2. I believe now it's going to be CTF Biolab. So a little bit of a mix from what we saw in that last round. Is, you know, now that we have 4 game types, you're going to see some switches. And that's going to be big because you're going to really need, especially with it including the best of 5s too, you're really going to need to be competent in all game types.
Oh yeah, you're going to need to know and learn how to play all these game types. I think a lot of people kind of wrote Uplink off the start of this game, and if you did, you're not going to do well this weekend. I can guarantee you're not going to have success. And you see events number 5. That is going to be Shills. He's going to get on this rotation early. We're going to go on with him. He is going to try and control this back area because a lot of teams like to push this out, Maven, because they like to get up that hospital ramp. If they can get players by the hospital ramp and pick up a few kills, they can force that spawn out all the way to that previous hill, and then that's when they can get tons of time at Garage.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. 2.5 to go. Almost a 40-point advantage right now coming in for the side of Orbit. So they are controlling this one. We talked about FeaR's struggles with Hardpoint. It seems to be continuing here. He's watching this low ramp. He has one push. Nice shots there. Able to clean that up. You know, we've been seeing in every Call of Duty, you know,
Shills is crushing.
I was about to say, let me cut this off because he might get another one here. He takes, I think the stun came in, but still able to get coverage there from his teammates, and that was 4 down for a second there from FeaR. It's going to allow them to soak up a ton of time to get a 50-point advantage. I
mean, FeaR has not even come close to touching this hard point. You see, they're just trying to put pressure on this back ramp area, and nothing is happening. That the players from Orbit, they just keep flooding it, and it's a great idea. They're going to spawn out now. Let's see if they get on the rotation. It looks like they are, but it looks like this player is going to wait a little bit to try and challenge this. He's just going to run straight in. He's going to find one player. He's going to challenge that. He's going to be stunned. He's going to get taken out, and this is a great play right here, cutting off that area, but he is taken out. It looks like FeaR is going to be able to get control of this hard point.
Well, they've got to get a ton of time here.
Oh, yeah.
90 remaining and down 60. They've got to get, the final 30 or so of this hill. They absolutely have to. And right now, neither side really getting points. They're starting to actually come in for FeaR now. We'll see if they can lock the remainder of this down. We're watching them try to get some slaying down in this back alley as they can keep the pressure off of the hard point. They're bringing it back a little bit, but they need to get the remaining time. They have to, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you know, for FeaR, it's really they don't have the slaying. I mean, Neslo, when he was on TK, towards the end of Ghost, he was looking like a pretty good slayer, you know, one of the up-and-coming players in Call of Duty, but on this FeaR roster, I don't know how he fits that role.
Well, you know, we talked about in Hardpoint, you pretty much, every player with this new game needs to be at like 30 kills or more. You kind of have to at this point. And you would look on the other side, 3 players about to break 30 for Orbit. Only 1 player really struggling right now at 19 and 31, and that's going to be Shills. But looking on the other side, I mean, they're slacking a bit. I mean, they're definitely getting outslayed right now.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely getting outslayed right now. The hill is actually going to be contested. And it looks like FeaR is going to win this, and it looks like Dito is in there, but he is going to get taken out very quickly, and it looks like this one is going to come down to the wire, but Orbit has control of the hill.
Not enough time, I don't think, remaining here, and with Orbit getting points right now, that's going to be it. So they are going to be able to take game number 1 away from FeaR. So this is looking really reminiscent of Winners Bracket round 4 here in the open side of things. FeaR lost game number 1. They bounced back and were able to win the uplink and the S&D. We'll see if they have it in them to pull it off again.
Yeah, you know, Dito, the birthday boy for FeaR.
Oh, is it his birthday?
It is his birthday.
Happy birthday, Dito.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Dito. You just lost map number 1 to Orbit.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy
Here's
birthday.
Here's some cake and a loss.
Happy birthday. Here's a bunch of negative teammates in Respawn. But right there, I mean, you know, he put up pretty good effort, 35-21. But, you know, the two players, like we were saying, very close to 40. Well, one over 40, the other one very close for Orbit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just really what it came down to.
And
Too much in the slaying department.
I mean, when you think about back to Ghost, if it was, let's say, Strike Zone Dom, and you had all 4 players on your team get 30+, you were absolutely winning.
Crushing.
In this game, you kind of need all of your players.
You need players
need
like 40.
Yeah, it's crazy how much has changed just with the speed of this. But game number 2 is going to be, I'm like 99.3%
No, it is.
positive.
It is.
It's going to be CTF on Biolab. So
I can confirm for him.
Okay, well, there we go. Tweet the stream. Don't go anywhere. Game number 2 will be coming up in just a few.